Okay guys, so I finally made it up to the saddle on my single speed on a weekday, and let me show you something real quick. This hurt, and I want to, oh my god, those brakes sound terrible, but this hurt, and this is what I'm talking about. I have a 30 and a 20 in the back, and as I changed to bigger gear, I changed to these bigger tires, 2.8. And I just wanted to try it out with these bigger tires. I'm running out of daylight, so I'm going back down the same way I came up. And then and that's going to lead to my next conversation. And that's why I started single speeding and why I think single speeding for me really worked out. And I'm going to say single speed for me kind of saved my life. And I'll tell you why. Number one, this is a short climb. It's short but hard. It's a workout. So when I was in my prime and I was young, I set a record for my personal record of getting up to the saddle in like 24 minutes, which was crazy fast for me at the time. And the top guys right now are around 17, 16. If you see any times lower than that, most likely it's an e-bike that didn't let everybody know on Strava it was an e-bike. Not that we care, but I'm just saying, the people that are doing 16, they're the kids that are winning the high school races. They're racers, local racers, and they're just, them. They're on Strava all the time. Not only do they get the fastest, some of them get the fastest time climbing, but they also have some of the most epic mountain bike rides, and they get the fastest time on LP. So that's how you kind of know. So the second thing is, when I wanted to increase my strength and endurance, and I thought of this as a workout, I thought, what a great way to work my legs on a single speed. And being able to single speed, and when you single speed, seriously, you're like doing leg presses all the way up, and it gets you that workout. So I like that. And then on the way down, and this is the reward, you notice that where I single speed in these trails, there's nothing to pedal on the way down. So no matter what gear you choose to go up with, you're not going to be using that gear on your descent. You're just not going to pedal. There's a couple spots in LP where you pedal up a little bit of an incline and for a short period of time, but I've never had an issue with that. And when I started single speeding, I was using a 34 and a 20. And when I was on a 26-inch single speed, because that's when I very first started, I was using a 34 and an 18. That's with 26-inch wheels. So, I had obviously more stamina back then, more strength back then. I mean, when I was going to the gym, I was squatting 3 plates. I would work out with 2 plates on a regular basis, and then I would go up to 3 plates, which is 315 for you guys that don't speak weightlifting language, and 2 plates is 225 on a typical 45-pound Olympic bar. So, or if you got the 50-pound bar at some of your gyms now, it's 5 more pounds, okay? So it was I love legs. I even wrote an article in my mountain bike rag called that was PMBC, Pasadena Mountain Bike Club, and we had a rag, which is a flyer, and I wrote an article about winter leg training. I wrote several articles, but I wrote an article about winter leg training because that was the only time I really did weights, because during the spring, fall, and summer I was getting my leg training here. We would do night rides Tuesday, Thursday. I would do that on my single speed. I would mostly actually just go up to the saddle or go up to the top and come right back down the fire road. I wasn't doing LP at night a lot back then, I didn't have the confidence back then. Now I'm fine with it, but back then it was a little intimidating, and the lights definitely weren't as nice as they are now. I even did a Night Rider demo here and met the guys from Night Rider years ago, and those guys super nice. And I've always been a fan of Night Rider lights. I think the only other light that they say is really good now is that European one, but it looks like a big flashlight on your handlebars. The other one is outbound lighting. I rode with some guys that have the outbound light. And I'm digressing in the lights, sorry about that. But so back to single speed. Single speed is a workout. It's training you to depend on just your leg muscle instead of shifting. And this is such a short climb. I really see it's a perfect for single speed. Maybe not perfect for beginners for the fact that it is so steep, but it's perfect for intermediate that know they want to get a good workout in. They could choose a hard gear based on their condition and go with it. So this 30-20 is definitely hard for me. I did it. I was hurting. There we go. A couple of deer. I saw them on the way up too. A couple mule deer. Anyway, and then on the way down you're having fun. It's such a short ride too. I really feel that if you're coming up here, you want to make the most of it as far as a workout. Even when I felt like when I was riding my gear bike up here, I was almost cheating. It was too easy to downshift and get into an easy gear and then just not really get a real solid workout in. And maybe that's overthinking it because it's still a workout. But so fast forward now, I'm riding my Escar Jaffe. I've got these big old tires. I didn't have big tires back then either. I was never, this is actually the first time I've run 2.8 front and back. I think when even my other bike, I ran 2.6 and back was the biggest I ever went. My first single speed was probably 2.3, maybe 2.25. Yeah, I know I had some 2.25 knobby nicks. So I really like the knobby nick. I think sometimes I would get the racing route. You get a little bit sketchy in the summer on those tires. My brakes feel a little mushy. I think I bled them. I put new pads, I put new rotors. I think it's time for new brake lines. I might do that. Little weekend project. Anyway, so I'm almost done. I think I could have done El Prieto and it wouldn't have got too dark. I just felt like it was going to get dark on me. And it's the first time riding this bike in probably 2 months. And I didn't want to have any mechanicals or deal with anything on El Prieto at night. I'm going to bring my lights when I come next time. So ride a single speed for your workout, guys. That's all I say. Stay tough and maybe it'll save your life. It saved my life for the fact that I love cycling, and it brought me a new lease on life where I was literally 50-60 pounds overweight after my daughter was born, and I was growing with her and eating like I was growing, but I was only growing wider. And when I realized I had gained all that weight and I was even too embarrassed to walk into a gym, that's when I got my first mountain bike. So it wasn't a single speed, but it was a rigid hardtail. So here we are. See how easy that is, how fast that is. It's such a easy trail on that fire road. It's great for, it's steep, you got to know how to brake. Maybe if I would have had my clear goggles. Right now I'm wearing my tinted ones, and it's pretty dark for them. You see how dark it is right here? May not show up that darkness. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I will talk to you later. Go out and ride a single speed.